There's so much race baiting and victim mentality from the left that it's actually getting laughable. Like this black guy that claimed he was called a racial slur on his Chik-Fil-A receipt.
A Charles County man is outraged after he placed a drive-through order at Chik-Fil-A, and he says a worker printed a racist name on the label.
Our Amy Cho has that story you will only see here on News 4.
When Marquise Vanzago got his food from the La Plata Chick-fil-A drive-thru last Friday, he was shocked to see this printed on the label.
Oh no! Marquise, monkeys, you know. Every time I go to a place that asks for my name, I say my name is Daddy. They never print it though.
The word monkeys instead of his name.
It was devastating because it just set me back, years. As a black male, we've gone through a lot, and it just it's a constant reminder. Just when you think you're healing from a situation, someone opens that wound back up.
This is what a professional victim looks like.
Vanzago says he went inside to complain, and a manager and the store owner later apologized to him. Vanzago says the owner told him he wouldn't fire the employee involved because the employee was a minor and said he'd misheard the name. Vanzago says he placed the order face-to-face, not through a microphone, because the worker was standing outside in the drive-through line.
I think that it could have been handled a lot differently. I definitely think that the employee should have been terminated on the spot. It's unfortunate that he might end up losing his job, but
for a victim, he's standing in front of a pretty nice looking house, and even if it isn't his, looks like he's got a carpenter's tool belt on. He's working, he's making a living in America. Doesn't look very victimized to me.
That happens. He needs to learn from this.
And Vanzago tells me he used to be a regular here at this Chick-fil-A, often coming several times a week. News 4 reached out to the company for a response.
They sent a statement saying this Chick-fil-A is independently franchised and operated. The franchisee of this restaurant has apologized to the guest. However, this experience does not meet our expectations. And
yeah, because if it was up to Chick-fil-A, they'd be licking this guy's boots.
Vanzago says he's hired an attorney and he's considering filing a federal lawsuit against Chick-fil-A for discrimination.
For putting monkeys on his receipt. Come on, dude.
Going back to that Chick-fil-A any longer. Racism is still alive.
News 4 also called the La Plata Chick-fil-A. A worker who answered the phone said they had no further comment. Amy Cho, News 4.
Who knows if it was autocorrect, a mispronunciation, or actual racism, but I'm tending to think it's one of the first two. For some faith in humanity, let's go to the comments section on this video. Good lands, if that set you back years, you are of a very weak spine. Please stop giving this story traction. It was so obvious that it was an error. If you heard the video and the way he pronounces his name, it sounds like monkeys, not Marquise. If it was racist, wouldn't the receipt say monkey and not have an S? Nothing like the news keeping the foolish race-baiting narratives alive in 2024. This is a mindset. How can this man be so petty? The young man misheard his name. It sent him back to where? He was never a slave. These people are offended by everything. Perfect example of ashamed of nothing, offended by everything, which is the left's mantra. Kid at my local Wendy's puts Jacob on my order because he can't spell Jacob. I'm not filing for a federal hate crime. The kid spelled bitch wrong. That is the real travesty. We live in a great country when the demand for racism exceeds its supply. Tell me what's wrong with this Disney princess sign. I couldn't figure it out either. I don't know, is her butt bigger than the rest of the princesses? I don't understand. It wasn't until I went to the comments section that I realized people are offended that she is on the letter N because of the N word. Cinderella is on the letter C. Does that mean she's the C word?
There's
so
no
how
one
do you
meaner.
Think black people are portrayed
like victims. Like everything upsets us. Like we feel so oppressed. And I'm like, this is not like the black community that I grew up in my family.
Oppressed, so you can't call that racist.
How are you oppressed?
No, but I'm
in 2023, how are you oppressed? Because I got news for you, honey. If you had a skill set that was worth something to somebody, you would be the richest here. I have a lot of young black men that follow me. There's no way on earth I'm going to let them believe that they have a lesser chance than anybody else if they just work their ass off.
We have to work hard, and that's
What about all of our friends that are black that are very, very successful?
But what do people assume of you when they see
Bro,
you? We have to
looking at racism is for broke people.
No.
What I will say,
it's just period.
no, it's just an insult. I just find it insulting. Don't tell me that
It's not insulting. You lead with it. Get a new identity.
Especially as a black woman, we are at the.
Hey, if you're on the left, it's easy to get a new identity. Just snap your fingers and you're a fluffy unicorn.
Today, obviously, we have some black people that are just shouting in the back. We have some black people that are sitting in the front quietly that are chanting USA and having a normal conversation. You're going to hear it in this room first. There is an ideological civil war happening. Black people that are focused on their past and shouting about slavery, and black people that are focused on their futures, okay? I can guarantee you what you're seeing happening is victim mentality versus victor mentality. And I promise you, I can tell you right now who is going to be better off when we look 20 years and we look at the faces in this room, who is going to be better off are the girls that are sitting right here and across this room, because they don't have your mentality. Victim mentality is not cool. I don't know why people like being oppressed. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I love oppression. We're oppressed. 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, which, by the way, none of you guys lived through. Your grandparents didn't. It's embarrassing. You utilize their history and you come in here with more emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. More emotion than they ever had when they were living through it. It's embarrassing. You're not living through anything right now. You're overly privileged Americans. It's what's going on right now.
I've talked about this before, but my grandfather was in a concentration camp for hiding Jews from the Nazis. My grandmother's mother was taken away from her when she was 7, and she spent several years in a concentration camp as well. I don't use my grandparents' experiences as a cross to bear, as something hanging around my neck. I don't act like a victim, like somehow I'm supposed to be treated differently because of this. It seems to me that these victims want to continue this cycle for DEI programs, for equality, equity, and basically things that they don't deserve. And if you think, hey, he's a white guy, he can't have an opinion about this, then you're part of the problem.
I have turned my back on the idea of victimization mentality. We are locked up. We went from 1 and 4. We went from 1 and 4 to 1 and 3, but we always pointing at the white people, but yet we want to spend all of our money on foreigners.
So it's a dirty, dark secret in the black community. One of the reasons we're never going to be successful as a whole because of other black people. And for some reason, we are brainwashed to think if you're not a thug or an idiot, you're not black enough. If you go to school, make good grades, speak intelligent, and don't break the law, you're not a good black person.
Me coming from Africa, I came here to better my life, and I feel like personally we need to stop using the word racism when we don't get something or when something don't go our way, and just
let me jump in real quick. No disrespect, but racism exists, and I have to acknowledge it, and I can't just ignore it, but what I can do is not buy into the system.
I still remember I was living in West Africa when Barack Obama was elected as president, and people would see me, a white guy in the streets, they'd come up to me, they'd shake my hand and they'd say, "Congratulations, America isn't racist anymore." There's a huge difference between black Africans and black Americans. Entitled victims, hardworking, happy people.
Calling out colonizers. If you saw me, you could have walked around me. And it's really that people are supposed to move out of your way. I don't have to move out of your way. People are supposed to move out of your way because you're a white man and we're not. And you're mad about it. Have a nice life. Bye, colonizer.
Okay, take care.
Bye, colonizer.
So now we're on live. We're in the right.
Okay. All right. Cool.
A black non-male. You're a racist.
And you, how am I racist? How am I racist?
Because I'm walking down the street. I'm
no racism. You're the one that called us crackers. Look, go and come.
Black non-male are
See you later.
You are a racist piece of trash.
Okay. So you called us
Burn in the hell
crackers.
that you belong in.
Wow. Did you take the jab?
Burn in the hell.
You take the jab.
Hey, don't you take that.
Anyway, I saw this video come up on my feed and I thought I would do a quick video about it. What do you guys think? Does a pale Irish Dutch boy get to have an opinion about this? Or should I just shut the hell up because I'm racist? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to Conservative Vibes. I'm CV, and I'll see you in the next video.